afternoon. Welcome back to Retired Guys Garage. Well, we are, what is this? January 6th, I guess it is. Yeah, and winter has hit here in Georgia. It's cold. It is freezing cold out here. Gonna be down in the teens. Kind of crazy for Georgia weather, but that is, you know, if you don't like the weather, just wait a minute, it'll change. Anyway, got a video coming up soon. We've made some progress on the Trans Am, so got a video coming up on that. But we've got a project starting here that we're going to be kind of working on at the same time as we're working on the Trans Am. We've got this 2015 Club Car Precedent. It's 48 volt electric variety, so not a gas one this time. Kind of weird, I know. Yep. Listen, retired guy, you drive electric carts. You drive gas carts. Well, not this time around. So, got a good deal on this one. And I do apologize for the wind. It was crazy windy today. We're talking winds up to 35 miles an hour, so it's pretty windy today. But, so anyway, this is what we're going to be working on. We have got a 2015, I believe. I know it looks like a 1965 because it looks horrible. But it actually is a 2015 Club Car Precedent, 48 volt. And we are going to be doing a refurb on this one. This is going to be our personal car. So we're going to be doing a refurb on this. But you've watched the channel before, so you know it's going to be on a budget. Because I just don't have all kinds of money to be throwing at this thing. So, what do we need to start with? Does it even work? No, of course it doesn't. Have you just started watching this channel? No, of course it doesn't work. So, batteries are done for, this is a auction cart, purchased from an auction. I don't even remember which one now. Say hello to my dog, one of my dogs. That is Bailey. Say hi to Bailey. You can see her back there. So it was purchased at an auction. I bought it from Boss at the car lot, and I now have it. So, have no idea the last time it ran. Been years, I'm sure. So it has a set of 8 volt Trojan golf cart batteries in it, which are done for. They're no good, and I believe it also needs an MCOR. Don't ask me what that acronym stands for. I don't know, but it's a potentiometer switch on the accelerator pedal, and real common problem on these. If they don't go back and forth, and they've got good batteries in them, it's generally that MCOR switch on the accelerator pedal. So got one of those coming today, and got a set of batteries for it. I was originally thinking that I was going to do a lithium battery swap on this. Then I got to thinking about it. I said, man, I just hate to be into this thing for that kind of money. I mean, you're talking, for a decent lithium battery, battery and charger and, gauge, health gauge, battery health gauge, all that kind of stuff, battery monitor. I mean, you're looking at $2,000. So I really don't want to put that kind of money into this right this very second. That may be something we do down the road. So I decided to go with a set of used. Picked up a set off the old Facebook Marketplace from a guy, nice gentleman out in Tyrone, Georgia, and he had just taken them out of his about a year and a half old Icon 48 volt golf cart that he just did a lithium swap to on his. So, kind of the flip side of the lithium battery upgrade craze that everybody's into is the fact that now there's some pretty decent used battery sets out there for very, very reasonable money. I mean, I picked up, I think he said they were 14 months old, if I remember correctly. AGM, absorbed glass mat batteries, that just came out of his running and driving Icon golf cart, and I gave him $200 for him. So $2,000, $200. Let's get the thing running on the $200 batteries. Maybe we'll drive it for a year. Heck, if we get a year out of it, I've made my money back. So that's where we're going to start. Going to put the batteries in it. I don't know if you can see it. The seat's pretty well chewed up. I do have a brand new set of seats. If y'all watched one of the previous videos, I showed you those seats. Normally, we put a rear seat on these, rear flip seat on these. I put a rear flip seat on these, but we're going to be using this one around the house. So it's got a pretty cool little dump box on the back of it. We're going to be hauling stuff around, tools, etc., around the yard, around the property. So this one we're just going to leave. We're going to leave the box right on it. But we are going to do a frame off refurb on this thing, and I'll get into what I bought for it a little bit later on. But for right now, we got to get some batteries in it. So we're going to move it around, put it in the garage. Hopefully, get it in the garage. Not much room, so I'm going to have to kind of finagle it around a little bit to get it in the garage, because it is just too darn cold for me to be working out here putting batteries in. So, but batteries are first. That's what we're going to do, and hopefully by the time I get the batteries in it, we will, the MCOR switch will be here, and we can put that in, hopefully get this thing running and driving today. So stick with me. I'll tell you what, why don't we get you in a little closer? Let's have a look at it. Take it all in, as they say. Stick with me, we're right back. So this is it. Like I said, the seats are in horrible condition, not even usable anymore. The cart itself is filthy dirty. However, it's in pretty nice shape. Of course, remember, we've got a complete body sitting in the garage for it that's going to go on it. This will all get pressure washed once the weather gets a little bit warmer. And like I said, I want to go ahead and keep the box because we're going to be using it around the yard. So I want to keep the box on it. Got the tailgate that opens. And don't worry about the rims and tires. Those will all be changed out. And I've got a pretty nice, just to kind of disregard the Cyclops light there, because that won't stay. Anyway, it's got a windshield on it. Not in the greatest of shape, but we'll use it for now. Picked up a pretty nice factory Club Car charger, and this is even Bluetooth capable. So I don't know exactly what that means. I don't know if that means you can actually get an app and be able to monitor. I'm not sure. So, all right, let's open this up. And I'm sorry, I thought it had Trojans in it. That was my mistake. It does not. So it's got, what are these, Crown? Yeah, these are Crown batteries, and they're just no good at all. So, and back there you can see the onboard computer and the onboard charger. The controller's back there in that silver part. Right here, behind here, that's where the controller and the onboard charger's housed. So, or the onboard charge controller, I'm sorry, is housed. So, and of course, like I said, we're going to do a fan and body kit on it. I'll show you that in just a second. And some of the other things got planned for it. Going to do a new ignition switch. So this is forward reverse on these right here. What I've done is ordered a ignition switch out of a E-Z-GO RXV, which has forward and reverse right on the ignition switch. I've never done one, so that's going to be a learning experience. It's even got a mirror on it, one of those 5-panel rear view mirrors, which is kind of cool. I like those a lot. Yeah, that's about it. Pretty basic right now, but you're not going to believe the difference in this thing. All this plastic, black plastic. This will all be repainted, refreshed. We're going to strip it right down to the frame, pressure wash the whole thing, get it cleaned up, because I'm sure it's filthy. And be time to get it out on the road, get it out in the yard and start driving it. So stick with me. I'm going to take you inside here real quick. We'll show you what that body, the new body looks like. And then we'll get right into it and get right into doing the batteries. Stick with me. I'll be right back. All right, it is much warmer in the garage. I don't even have the heat going yet, and it is much warmer in here. Now remember, I told you this is going to be a budget. I tend to do my stuff on a budget build, so this is going to definitely be a budget build. I told you I only spent about $200. Well, I only spent $200 on the batteries, and these body kits can get pretty pricey as well. I mean, you're talking in the $1,000 to $1,500 range. But let me get you turned around here real quick. Hang on, and I'll show you what body we got for it. All right, this is what's known as a phantom body kit. If you know golf carts, you know that especially these Club Car Precedents, they're more of a rubbery substance, very flexible. This is actually more of a fiberglass body kit. Pretty expensive body kit. The ones I've saw on eBay were right up around the $1,300 to $1,500 range. So believe it or not, I got this whole kit, this whole body kit, along with a couple other parts, a couple other body parts for Tempo and Club Car Carryall as well. And I got all of it for only $30. So I'm going to buff this out to start with to see how it looks. And if it doesn't buff out nicely the way I hope it will, next thing I'm going to be doing is painting it. So I've got a really nice midnight blue metallic paint in the cabinet, and we're going to be painting it. Haven't painted it in a long time, so it's going to be interesting. And it will be my first try at painting with a HVLP gun. I've never done that, so I've always used the traditional high pressure spray gun. So it's going to be different for me. So anyway, so that's that. And I don't know if you remember, but these are the seats I have for it. Again, remember, a budget build. I picked these seats up, picked this set of seats up for $30. So yeah. So far, we've got 200, let's say the body we spent $15 on, $215 and $30. We're still less than $250 in this thing, parts-wise. So, yeah, it's doing well so far. I think I spent, what I spend, like $100 on eBay, or on Amazon, picking up the key switch, the MCOR, the high-speed magnet. We'll get into that when I put it in, though. What that exactly does, and we'll go from there. So, all right, stick with me, and let's get this golf cart in the garage so we can work on it and get the heat going, because I'm freezing. Stick with me. I'll be right back. All right. Clearly, we've put the new seats on. Basically, I couldn't stand looking at the old ones anymore. They were just too nasty, and I didn't even want to sit on them, actually. And when I went to take the bottom part off, the wood was so rotten that the handle just pulled out from the bottom of it. So I'll go ahead, get these, get the bolts out. I just need the bolts. This seat's already got new screws, nuts that's in it already. So I'll be able to just bolt them right on. And I'm actually missing one of the hinges in the front, so I'll have to get a new one. But yeah, new seats made a world of difference already, right? All right, so batteries. So the goal for today and tomorrow morning is I want to get the new batteries in. I'd actually like to get the new batteries in tonight if possible. I don't know how much longer I'm going to feel like working. It's cold out here. I've had the heater running, but it's still a little chilly, I'm not going to lie. But anyway, goal for today and tomorrow morning probably. The MCOR should be here today as well. But the goal is to get the batteries in and get the battery charger hooked up. Now, I've got a really nice Club Car charger. that we bought for this a long time ago, when I first got it. It's not that big clunky club car charger that you're used to seeing. That's, you know, the size of 2 cinder blocks. Nice little unit right here, very lightweight. And what I thought was Bluetooth, I forgot there's actually a USB port for charging on here too. So, and when I first plugged it in, this thing's been sitting outside for a long time in the weather, and I was kind of worried about it, whether or not it was going to be any good. I thought maybe the weather might have got to it, but plugged it in, took a few seconds, and finally booted up, and I see the blue light on it, the blue power light, so it looks like it's going to be okay, and that's what I'm hoping. But what we need to do is get the batteries in it so that I can get the charger plugged in it and charge up the batteries, because it's probably been a couple of weeks since they've been on the charger. The gentleman's that I got the batteries from, did his swap out to the lithium a couple weeks ago, so they've been sitting a couple weeks not on the charger. So when it comes to these batteries, what I will tell you to do, the best advice I can give you on these. So there is 6 batteries in here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I probably missed one. 8 battery cables. Okay. You do not, at all costs, want to put one of these batteries in wrong, because you will fry that controller like that. So that's bad. Controller, expensive, very expensive. Probably a used stock controller is going to cost, well, I mean, a used stock controller is going to cost, you know, $150 or $200. A new one's going to cost, you know, probably a little bit about double that. So, don't want to do that. So, what I like to do is I like to go old school. First of all, I'll take a picture of the overall battery setup, and then I'll do 2 batteries at a time. Take 3 more pictures, 2 batteries at a time, so I can get the battery, or the positive and negative orientation on all the batteries. And what I'll do is go real old school just to be on the safe side, and I will actually get out pad and paper and draw a diagram of it. Starting over on the driver's side, coming over to the passenger side, I'll orient the batteries just the way they are in here, with all the cables run, positive and negative on each battery, old school, pad and paper, pencil and paper. So that's what I like to do. That just double checks yourself to make sure you got the batteries in right. So without any further ado, hardest part's probably going to be getting these hold downs out, because they never want to come out, especially because this one's been so long. So without any further ado, let me put you on pause for just a few minutes. Let's get some tools out. I'm going to run the heater for a few more minutes, warm it back up in here, and let's get started on this. Let's get these batteries in. Stick with me, I'll be right back. All right, so I have taken pictures that I wanted to take, so that's all done. And like I said, go old school. There's nothing wrong with this. All right, so, and if nothing else, this also kind of tells you where your battery cables go, which one of your battery cables goes where. So even though these have been in here a while and they're kind of pre-formed already, I should be able to figure out where they go. It never hurts. And one important thing I forgot to tell you is, before you start to work on your electrical system, i.e. batteries, make sure you take the card out of run mode, put it in tow mode, so that will cut off all the electrics to the batteries. Won't be any power going to the controller or the onboard charge controller or any of that stuff. So make sure you put the card in tow mode and get it out of there. So shockingly enough, I buzzed the hold downs right out. They came right off. I was shocked. They normally don't. So now it's going to be time to start taking off the battery cables. Looks like I've got some extra wires here for the Cyclops we'll continue to call it the Cyclops light because it seems funny to have it up there. So we'll take those wires off. Looks like those are a 12-volt feed for the Cyclops light. Well, actually, it's 8 and 8 is they're actually running 16 volts to it, but you know, who can be picky about 6 volts? So anyway, all right, let me get the air hose hooked back up again, and we'll start zipping these battery cables off. So this is your positive battery cable back here that goes into the controller, and this is your negative control. This is your negative cable coming out of the controller. So just for reference. All right, stick with me. Let's get these batteries off. All right, so I have gone ahead and gotten most of them loosened up already. I did get some fresher battery cables with the other batteries. I don't know if I'm going to use them or not, but we'll see what happens. And it would appear that these are lock nuts that they used on these, which is really nice. Whoever put these chrome batteries in here, that was a really good thing to do. I like that. Let's disconnect that so we don't have to listen to that. And then when I get these battery cables off, I will go ahead and kind of lay them out on the floor on the other side to where they're going to be in kind of in the pattern that they were on. So there's no guesswork when I go to put them back together. And like I said, this is probably, I'm sure the wiring, which appears to be house wiring. Gotta love auction carts. And I may at some point order the heavier gauge battery cables for these just to have them in there. Those are pretty light gauge battery cables, so I may go ahead and order the heavier gauge cables for these as an upgrade. So that might be something to do here. Like I said, for right now, we're just trying to get the batteries in it today so that I can get it hooked up and get the battery charger on it. So that is the goal for today. All right, let me put you on hold for just a second. I'm gonna have to run out and get the replacement batteries out of the truck, and we'll get these out and start putting the new ones in. Stick with me, I'll be right back. So luck would have it, I ran out of time tonight, so not going to be able to get the batteries in tonight, but that's all right. We'll do that first thing in the morning. I want to go back out in the shed and grab the vacuum and vacuum this all out. A little too cold to be pressure washing anything for the next few days. So there's a lot of leaves and junk in here and stuff that needs to not be in here. So I'll go ahead and vacuum this all out real quick, slam the batteries in it. When it comes time to build it for real, we'll probably take the batteries back out again, probably. Take the batteries back out and pressure wash this, get it nice and clean and ready for the new body and that sort of thing. So let me take you over here real quick and I'll show you the new batteries as opposed to the old batteries. Old batteries are pretty about ready to explode, actually. Looks like they may even be frozen, not sure. So, but yeah, let's take you over. Let's look at the new ones, the new batteries, and I actually think there's enough cables to use all the new cables. So let's go look at them, and we're going to call it a night. Stick with me just a second. All right. I don't know how well that's going to show up on camera, but you can see the sides of the batteries are swelling out really bad. So best I can tell, looks like 2017 August of 17. So those batteries are 8 years old, so they're long beyond their life cycle. So here's a new set, and we've got all new cables. Hopefully, I can't tell, it seems like I might be short one cable, looks like, but those are real nice quality cables, and I may end up having to order a set of cables because the cables that are on the cart now are definitely a smaller gauge, definitely a thinner wire than these are. So anyway, all right, well, let's wrap it up for tonight. All right, that is going to wrap it up for tonight. So we will see you bright and early in the same bat time, same bat channel, right here in the garage. So, one thing I did want to point out, if you don't have some type of battery carrier, highly suggest you get one. They do make one specifically for golf cart batteries, and if you'll remind me tomorrow morning, I'll show you how those work. This is just a car battery carrier, but works just fine. All you do is just kind of adjust it to the size of the battery. As you pull up on it, it tightens up and you can carry the batteries, because they're not light. And you definitely want to make sure you lift with your legs with these things, because they're certainly not light. One of the big advantages of lithium over these batteries are probably, I would say probably about 60 pounds a piece. So this is well over 300 pounds sitting here, probably closer to 400 pounds sitting here in batteries. Whereas a lithium replacement and upgrade battery will only weigh between 80 and 100 pounds. So there's a significant savings to lithium batteries. And the more I'm talking about it, the more I want to do it as soon as I get this bad boy running and driving. I just got to make sure that, there's not a controller that's smoked, or, a motor that's smoked. I don't want to get too deep into it before I actually see it running and driving down the road. So anyway, that's going to do it for tonight. I'll see you back here bright and early in the morning. Thanks for watching. Well, good afternoon. Welcome back to the frigid South. Hey, it's the Retired Guys Garage. Welcome back, y'all. Appreciate you stopping by. So anyway, I was going to get back out here this morning first thing and get right back on this battery install, but it was it was in the low 20s this morning, and there's just not enough heat in the world to get this garage warm enough for me to be working out here in low 20s. So we're up a little bit higher than that this afternoon. So we're back. So I've already gone ahead. I went ahead and vacuumed out all the leaves and the debris and the years of neglect out of that battery box. So we're going to get right on getting these batteries installed. So stick with me. Let's get started. All right, so double checking as I go along with my handy dandy high-tech super ultra state-of-the-art diagram. I've gotten the first two in, and they actually look like the old diagram, so that's always good. And like I said, if you don't have a battery carrier of some sort, and you want to do these, change out these batteries on your own, I would highly recommend getting one, because they're just a bear to deal with otherwise. So this makes it a lot easier. Like I said, there is literally a specific carrier for these batteries, but these being AGM batteries, they don't have the fancy little brackets on each end for it anyway, so this one works just as well. So there is the first three on the driver's side, and I'll go ahead and finish these up, and I'm going to go ahead and get the hold down started. So like I said, pretty simple process, not a big deal at all. And we're just gonna, what I'm gonna end up doing is taking all these larger battery cables off, sadly, because I'd really like to use them, but I think I'm missing some, and I would really like to use them, but I don't think I have enough. So I'll order a new set off the old Amazon website, so that I can put the heavier gauge wires on. What are these? Let's see. These look like 1 gauge. So yeah, that's what I'll order. Those old cables are just not going to do it, but good enough to get the charger on it and get the battery started charging. Unfortunately, the MCOR and the rest of the parts I ordered for it did not show up yesterday like they were supposed to. Apparently, Amazon's 2-day Prime delivery that we pay a lot of money for every year is not as prime as it used to be, apparently. So, but I'll go ahead and get the other 3 in. You don't need to watch all that. And bring it back as soon as we start hooking up battery cables. Stick with me, I'll be right back. All right, so we've got them in, got all of them in. So I know I mentioned in the first part of the video that the nice thing about everybody's doing the lithium swaps is, if you're just not ready to spend $2,000, $1,000 to $2,000 on a lithium battery, but your golf cart needs batteries, there's some good used batteries out there that are ripe for the picking, as they say. So what should you look for? Well, one of the things is you don't want a bunch of corrosion on the terminals. You want to make sure that they were properly taken care of. Now, these are AGM, so these are absorbed glass mat batteries, so there's no water in these. Well, you really can't fill up the water in these. They're sealed. And as it turns out, I did have enough of the new cables, so that's really great, because those old cables were really crap. They were filthy dirty, and they were just crap. So I'm glad I was able to use the new ones. So, but not everybody has a battery load tester. I do have a battery load tester, but it's for 12-volt batteries. These are 8-volt batteries, and that's not going to work for a 12-volt battery, for an 8-volt battery. But what you can do, if you have a voltmeter, put your voltmeter on 20 DC. So make sure you got the straight lines and not the squiggly, not the curvy ones. So that battery's got 8.56 volts in it. So this battery has 8.57 volts. We'll test one more. Let's see what it says. And this one's got 8.59 volts. Okay, so, and I will tell you this. I have tested them before. but I just wanted to show you kind of what to look for. So on an 8-volt battery, 8.5 something volts, 8.5 volts in these things is pretty darn good, especially considering they've not been on a charger in a couple weeks. So what should you have total? Well, the golf cart's a 48 volt. So you go from your positive lead coming off the controller to your negative lead coming off the controller. And I forgot to switch it over. Make sure you switch your voltmeter over to 200 volts. And I have 51.3 volts out of those 6 batteries. So that's great. I'm thrilled with that. Now all I need to do is just back it back in here in a few minutes and put the charger on. So awesome. All right, so we got the batteries in, like I said. MCOR's not here yet, so I'm going to clean up here a little bit. Might put the new seat together with the handles on it and stuff, even though they need to be painted. Like I said, this is just a real quick throwing this thing together so that we can make sure it works after I put the MCOR in it. So, with that being said, let's, since it doesn't take very long to swap out, let's just take and throw the new front end on and see what it looks like. What do you say? I like it. So let's do that real quick. We'll kind of give a sneak preview as to what it's going to look like. So stick with me. Let me throw that front end on. I'll bring you back here in just a second and show you how to do that. Very simple. Let me get you moved over here just a little bit. All right. So this black plastic piece separates right here on both sides. Has 1, 2, 3, 4 screws holding it in. And once you get this off, that front cowl piece will just flop right off. And we're going to throw the new one on and see what it looks like. But before I do any of that, I'm going to get all these old cables cleaned up. And we'll go from there. The other thing I'm going to do, my cabinet's blocked off with the tires from the Trans Am right now, but I'm going to get lock washers for all these nuts so that the connections don't loosen up. So, all right, sounds good. So, first step done. Well, first 2 steps done. We got the new seat put on, so I don't have to keep parking my butt on that old ratty seat, filthy dirty. So we got the new seat on temporarily, and we got the new batteries in temporarily, sort of. I may just pressure wash through that around them so I don't have to take them all back out again. The battery case was pretty clean, so I may not even take them back out again. So, let me get cleaned up. Clean up all this junk. I'm just going to toss those cables because I'm never going to use them. And let's toss that front cowl, new front cowl on, and see what it looks like. Stick with me. I'll be right back. So I have gone ahead and taken out the 4 screws that hold this black trim piece in. You're going to need a T20 Torx driver for that. And then this will just pop right out. And I do not know if this is going to come out with the windshield in it, or if I'm going to have to take the windshield out. Let's see what happens. All right, looks like I might have to get a screwdriver and pop the front loose. Hold on just a second. I'll be right back. With a little bit of finessing, I was able to get that front cowl off. I just had to pop the front end out with a screwdriver. And let's see how this fits. All right, so here's our first issue. So apparently, we're going to take the bumper off. I did not know that. Interesting. So apparently this all takes the place of this. And Doggone it, we're going to lose our Cyclops light. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to be able to handle that. All right, so this is going to be a little bit more involved than I thought it was going to be. However, you can kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like. So that'll actually look pretty cool, I think. I'm not going to let this go because I don't want it to fall and break. But yeah, that's what the new front end's going to look like. Pretty darn cool. I like it. I like it a lot. And looks like our girl's going to need some new fastening glue. But yeah, I did not know that this takes the place of that front bumper. So very interesting, as they used to say. But all right, well, let me get this front bumper off and we'll kind of get it in place and see how it looks. Stick with me, I'll be right back. So I'm not ready to get that far into this right now. Like I said, this is just kind of a let's get the thing running and moving, make sure it runs and moves, and go from there. It's getting cold out again, and I'm gonna need to get this thing back in the garage and get the heat cranking because it's cold. And the sun's going down, so yeah, getting a little chilly out to be working outside. So I'm just going to throw the front piece back on again, the front cowl back on again, and just leave it like that until it's time to get a little bit further into this one. But I think what I might do is go ahead and swap all the brackets over to the seat, the handles and the hinges. I was actually while I was taking the batteries out, I've actually found the other hinge that I was missing, so don't have to buy one, and that's always good. So stick with me. Let's start working on that seat. Okay, so we've got the majority of the brackets. I haven't gotten the other seat bracket, seat handle cleaned off yet, but I'll do that in a little while here. But got both the front hinges off the old seat. I'm going to go ahead and pop those on. These are just a couple bolts. And we're going to have to trim this because this is right in the way of where I need to put this bracket. So that's not good. All right, well, let's start there then, I guess. We need some type of cutting tool. Stand by, let me find one of those. As you can see, we've cleaned out this area right here of all the excess seat material that we don't need, and now that fits nice and flat. So I'm sure we'll have to do the same to the other side. So it looks like somebody was building golf cart seats is what this was. Normally I do these, we cover these we cover our own normally. But this was such a good deal that I got these seats. I got 2 complete seat sets for less than I would have paid for one set of front covers. So it was really a no-brainer to buy them like this. Let's get these tightened down. Okay. All right, let's see what we got on this side. Yep, just as I suspected, we're going to have to do the same thing on this side. So basically all I'm doing is just taking a knife and cutting the seat material out of the way. And then there's some staples that are in here as well that are going to have to be removed. Side cutter, staples out of the way. There we go. Looks like we just had to get one of the staples to cooperate. And I couldn't see actually. It was hidden. Perfect. Didn't even lose any of the bolts in the process. Okay, all right, that's that. When we get this cleaned off, we'll get this one handle on. I'm gonna go clean up the other handle off camera and get all the bolts out of it, and we'll get this thing put together and get this on the cart. So stick with me, we'll be right back. Okay, for reference, this will be the passenger side. So we've got the handle on. It appears when they built the seat, redid the seat, whatever they did to it, added a little bit more padding on the side here, or didn't quite get this the way it should be. I'm not quite sure. The seat cover in quite the right spot, so I had to kind of push down on it and push in and zip it in with the gun. So let's flip it over and try and do the other side and see what happens. Alright, so I suspect this side's going to be equally challenging with having to kind of hold the padding and that kind of stuff. Oh, that one's never to be seen again. Great. Be hunting for that bolt that fell for the next 3 hours. Alright, one started, that's a good sign. that is on. So that's going to do it for the seat. Just got to, you know, find that bolt that I dropped that went into Never Never Land, never to be found again. So great. All right, let me bring it back and we'll get the seat back on as soon as I find that bolt. Sure I will. Well, there it is. Small steps, but luckily I was able to find that bolt. It did not fall into Never Never Land, and I found it. So, small steps. Anyway, so seats are in, batteries are in, everything's connected. Still waiting on the parts from the old Amazon website so that we can get that MCOR in. Next thing is I'm going to have to pull the accelerator, pull the van out, excuse me, and excuse me, my goodness, get to the side of that accelerator pedal so I can get that MCOR switch off. So hopefully that's what's wrong with it. I'm gonna hook up the charger to it here in just a second. I know it's not going to kick on because it's got 51.6 volts in it, but I want to hook it up, make sure I don't get any smoke. So anyway, I think that's going to about do it for today, though. So please stay with me, and I'll see you in the morning. And welcome to the North Pole. Not really. Still Georgia, but feels more like the North Pole than Georgia lately. I know. Not as bad as parts of the country are getting right now. This is January 8th. So this cold front will be long gone by the time this video airs. But man, it's cold out. It's you know 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's only 36 degrees out here. So by Georgia standards, pretty cold. Anyhow, welcome back. So gonna get on this. Back on the Precedent here in just a second. We are going to get the MCOR put in because I believe that is what is stopping it from not moving. At least that's my hope. Because if not, we're going to have to dig into it a little bit further. Checked the batteries yesterday with a voltmeter. Batteries are testing out about 51.6 volts, so they are pretty much fully charged. I didn't even put the charger on it last night. It was wouldn't have done any good because the charger wouldn't have kicked on. Battery voltage isn't low enough for the battery charger to kick on. So going to be getting back on that in just a second. However, went to pick up a set of tail lights for the old Precedent last night, and ended up cleaning out the guy's garage of golf cart parts. Had a bunch of Precedent and DS parts. I don't do many DS's, but I have done them in the past. So I've got a accelerator and brake pedal set. I've got some front transverse leaf springs for Precedents. I've got a bunch of tail lights, headlights, picked up a whole slew of stuff. Even got what looks like not really sure. I think it's a Precedent steering column now. Got some steering rack and pinions, a couple of them that are brand spanking new, never been used. Most of the stuff is still brand new in the boxes and bags. Got turn signal switches, wiring harnesses, headlights, tail lights. So pretty good haul. Good haul to keep in stock. For upcoming builds. So stay tuned for that. Anyhow, but for right now, we need to get back on this Precedent. Let's get this MCOR put in. This is the MCOR. How do I know that? It says so right there on the label. Anyhow, hopefully we're going to put this in. So basically all this is just a potentiometer switch that moves with the accelerator pedal. And tells the computer it's time to go or not go. So, hopefully this is the problem. Why we're not getting any go and no-go signal. Otherwise, who knows? Could be a bad controller, bad motor, a lot of very expensive parts that I really don't even want to think about. So, this is one of the reasons I didn't go with the lithium battery right off the bat and went with the less expensive lead acid battery setup to start with was because I've never heard or seen this golf cart run or move anywhere except when it's being towed by the truck or the riding lawnmower. So that's the only time I've ever seen it move. So I'm gonna get this put in, and fingers crossed. That's what's wrong with it. Stick with me. Let's get started. So first things first, I have to get this floor mat out. Normally you would have to unbolt these 4 Torx bolts on each side, but this mat is not in the greatest of shape, and it's just going to pop right out here. Next thing to do is pop this cover off right here. That is going to open up the area where the gas pedal and brake pedal assembly are. I showed you that a few seconds ago with that one that I had that I just picked up. And there's 4 Torx bolts. I'm not sure what size those are, so I'll have to get those out and lift that whole assembly up. MCOR is, well, let me show you on the other one. So this is this, and this is the gas pedal, so it's upside down sort of from what you're looking at there. But the MCOR bolts right here. So that's what we need to get to. And it's got 2 bolts, one here, that hold it in. And let's get it changed up. So stick with me, I'll be right back. Well, as you can see, we've gotten it out. Had to fight it, not gonna lie. Unfortunately, they use aluminum screws into an aluminum base, which generally doesn't work out well. And I know you're gonna be shocked, but believe me when I tell you, somebody's been in here before. Yeah, there was all different kind of screws. This one right up in the front here was the worst of the worst. I never was able to get it out. I ended up grinding the head off of it and just grinding the head off of it to get the pedal assembly out. So we got the pedal assembly out. Let me get you switched over to the other side where the MCOR is. Let's get this thing swapped out, and while I've got this part though, I'm going to go ahead and hit this with the vacuum real quick and get all that muck and muck out of there, so I don't have to keep working in it. So stick with me, I'll be right back. So as you can see, there's 2 plugs on the MCOR, and there's actually only, I was mistaken, I thought there was more than one. I thought there was actually 2 screws that hold this in, but it's actually only one. This appears to be a dowel. And then there's a couple of clips that clip into the side of it. So this is just a T20 Torx driver, and hopefully this should pop right off. Sure, we'll go with that. Looks like we're gonna need some assistance. Yeah, she's just stuck in there a little bit, so the assistance of a screw / pry bar driver, I was able to pop that loose, and the new one just pops right in. Just like that. All right. plugs back in. There we go. All right, let me get this situated. Let me get this back down on there. Sitting back down in the well where it's supposed to be, and we'll try it out to find out if this worked. Hopefully. Like I said, fingers crossed. And this is the wire for that Cyclops light. So we're going to pop this dash off after we get done with this, and get rid of this wiring, because it's not going to be used when I do the build. So stick with me. I'll be right back. So sadly, the MCOR didn't fix it. So I'm going to have to dig into it a little bit further and find out what's going on. I guess now we're going to start looking at controller, probably. But that's the way the ball bounces sometimes. Sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. But the MCOR was a fairly reasonable part. I mean, I certainly don't mind changing it out anyhow, just so it doesn't give me issues down the road. So I'm not even at all mad. But with that being said, it's getting late, and it's getting cold. Colder, I should say. Sun's starting to go down, so it's getting colder. And I'm cold, and I need to get this back in the garage and call it a night. So we'll get started on this thing first thing in the morning. We'll see you then. So that's going to wrap it up for this video. I really hope y'all learned something about a golf cart. So just to kind of recap, we put in some new used batteries and a new MCOR for this Club Car Precedent. So, and just remember what I said at the beginning of the video. The goal for this golf cart right now is to just get it running and moving. So I really want to get back on the Trans Am, but I'd like to get this golf cart running and moving first. So with that being said, make sure you watch for the follow-up video to this one, because we're going to get right back on this. I got another video coming out probably next week or the week after on the golf cart, where we're going to remember I said we need to get access to all the electrical components so that we can do some testing and see if we can figure out why it won't move. Clearly, the MCOR wasn't the problem, but for the price of the part, which was I don't know, $15, $16-ish, somewhere thereabouts. Got it off the old Amazon website, of course. And as always, I'll drop a link down below so that you can order that part if you need one. So that clearly wasn't the problem, but we need to dig in and do some testing. And the easiest way to do that, is to, we're taking the body off and replacing it anyway. So let's get the body off of it. Let's get it stripped down to the frame so that I can get in there and do some testing and find out what is actually wrong with it. We have plenty of parts here. Whatever may be wrong with it, we've got plenty of parts. We've got a motor, we've got a controller, we've got a solenoid. Luck, if I have any kind of luck whatsoever, hopefully it's a bad solenoid. That would be great, but I just never had that kind of luck. But anyway, so hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed making it for you. I love working on golf carts. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up and give it a like. And of course, while you're there, you're right there. I mean, just hit that subscribe button. Said it before, it doesn't cost you a plug nickel. It doesn't cost you anything, but it sure helps me out a lot. So, if you do like the channel and the content I'm providing, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the like button. If you like sharing it, by all means, go right ahead. I'd love it. I'd love it if you would share them. So that'd be great. And of course, feel free to leave a comment down below. Love to hear from you. And what you might have done differently, or what your experience has been with these Club Car Precedents. This is not my first one. This is, I think, I want to say this is our fifth or sixth Club Car Precedent that I've done. So, but the majority of them I should say the majority of them, I guess it's been about 50-50 gas and electric. But this is the first electric one that I've had that's been a non-roller. So, kind of into some new territory with this one, and we'll get it figured out, I promise. So, like I said, make sure you stick around for the next segment in this video, where we'll start tearing the body off of it so we can get access to the electrical components. As always, I appreciate you watching so very much. If you want to catch me on the other social medias as well, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, of course right here on YouTube at the Retired Guys Garage. And if you want to find me on X, my X ID is TRGG2024. That's TRGG2024 on X. And of course, if you want to shoot me an email, go right on ahead. Love to hear from you. Love to hear from you. Email address is trgg2024@gmail.com. So, hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed making it for you. And of course, can't wait to make the follow-up video to this one. And until the next time, y'all please be safe, take care, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.